When you have past due bills, it can really leave you feeling completely overwhelmed. You want to catch up, but when you try and get started, it actually can leave you feeling hopeless. That pile of bills with past due written on them in bright red just adds to the stress. It can make it really, really difficult to imagine how you're possibly going to dig yourself out of the situation you've gotten yourself into. It seems like it's far easier to stick your head in the sand and say, I'll deal with it tomorrow. But tomorrow comes and you still have sand in your ears. Trust me when I tell you that I've actually tried the ostrich method of bill payment and it doesn't work. 100% of the time, it does not work. But there is a fairly simple way to get caught up on your bills when you're behind. And I'm not going to lie and tell you it's going to be easy, but I can promise you that for sure it's not nearly as difficult as you think it will be. Hi, I'm Wendy Valencia. My husband Mauricio and I paid off over $250,000 of debt, and I can tell you with 100% certainty that this is possible. Seriously, if we can do it, absolutely anyone can do it. As overwhelming as it feels today, if you get started right now, in a very, very short time, you're going to feel back in control of everything. So let's go over the 5 simple steps you need to follow in order to regain complete control. Number 1, take a deep breath. Seriously, step back. Drama is not going to help the situation. If you are freaking out, stop. Because yes, it is upsetting, it is stressful, but if you just take a deep breath, it is much easier to approach when you're calm. Okay, so now we've taken our deep breath and we're calm now, relatively speaking. So number 2, we're going to make a list, and we're going to list all of the bills that you're past due on. That's it. And I'm going to make step number 2 so much easier for you. I'm going to give you a freebie to help you get started. So hop over to the link in the description box and download this freebie that will help you get started in putting all of your debts down on paper. And this step will probably take you maybe a half an hour or even less if you already have all your bills in one place. And you're going to list the company, what the bill was for, how much the bill is, and when it was actually due. Now, for some people, totaling up these numbers is going to be helpful, but for 95% of you, that's not going to make you feel better. It's going to make you freak out. So don't be tempted to run all those numbers and add them all up, because that is a mistake. I promise you that at this particular phase, it is completely okay to leave a little bit of sand in your ears. Number 3, we're going to make a spending plan. Now, some people call this a budget, but in the Valencia household, we say spending plan because that is actually what we're going to do. We're going to make a plan for our spending. So step 3 will probably take you an hour or 2, but that'll be 100% dependent on how much you spend and how organized you are with your spending already. So you're going to go grab a pencil or a pen, 4 sheets of paper, and a calculator. And first, we're going to pull up all of our bank accounts and where we spend our money. And for some of you, you may spend all your money on a credit card, and for others, you may use your debit card to spend all your money. But you're going to go and pull where you spend the vast majority of your money. You're going to pull 3 months worth of records. So you can either screenshot it or print it. You just need to get it together, or you can just open up your bank account on your phone. But like I said, for most people, this is going to be a credit card or a checking account. So then you're going to take a sheet of paper and turn it so the top is the longest side of the sheet of paper, and you're going to write these words: income, housing, utilities, groceries/household supplies, childcare, transportation, giving, restaurants and fast food, insurance, pet, medical, savings, spending money, subscriptions, self-care, beauty, debt, and other. Now go ahead and make this paper 2 more times, because you're going to need 3 of these because you've got 3 months to deal with. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through those expenses line by line, step by step, and put each thing under one of these columns. You want to include where you spend the money and exactly how much money you spent. And you're going to do this 1 month per page. Income. Income is any money coming in. It doesn't matter what it's for. It can be a salary. It could be a garage sale money. It could be a rent that you receive from somebody else. If it comes in, it is income. Housing. Housing is your basic anything associated with your house. This would also include repairs. It would also include like any sort of HOA fees, those kind of things. Utilities. Those are any utilities you pay. And in our utilities category, we actually also include our storage unit. Groceries and household supplies are going to be like, you know, wherever you buy your food, groceries, not restaurants. Household supplies, if you buy it, like if you shop at Target or Walmart, or maybe you buy your cleaning supplies at the grocery store, we combine those here. I don't separate them out. Some people do separate them out. I think it makes life significantly more difficult to separate those out. Childcare, that's obvious. Anything that's going to involve taking care of your child. Transportation, anything involving your car. Parking, gas, tire rotations, oil change, maintenance, repairs. Giving, any money you give. Now, in our giving category, we actually include charitable giving and gifts together. So that's how we do our giving, but you can actually divide that up to charitable giving and gift giving if you want, like for kids' birthdays or whatever. Restaurants and fast food. Now, notice I have separated this out because this is going to become important down the road. Insurance, any kind of insurance that you have, you put it here. Pet, any pet expenses like dog food, or if you get those in groceries, then you can include those in groceries, but for the most part, people probably have their pet expenses, vet bills, those kind of things. Those are all separated out. Medical expenses, doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, eye doctor's appointments, those kind of things. Savings is any savings that you have, any money that is going to savings. And then spending money, if you take out cash out of the bank to have pocket money. Subscriptions. Subscriptions are anything that occurs monthly. Anything from like Netflix to the gym to wine of the month to flower delivery, whatever you pay. If you pay for it monthly then or annually, those are going to go in there. And then self-care and beauty, that's going to be hair, nails, makeup, all of those kind of things. Any sort of health things that you have, you could put a gym in here as well if you don't put it under subscriptions. Debt is any payments to debt that you made. And of course, the other category is where everything else that didn't fit in one of the other categories goes. When you finish a page and you've listed all the items for the month, you're going to go ahead and total up each column. And you're going to write the total at the bottom of each column. Then you're going to do the next 2 months. And like I said, this process will take you in an hour or two, but it's going to be worth it. So now on the last piece of paper, you're going to make the short side the top, and you're going to write all the same categories down the left-hand side, starting with income and working your way to the bottom, top to bottom. When you've done that, you're going to take each number from the matching column across the 3 pieces of paper. So for income, you're going to take your 3 incomes from your 3 months, and you're going to add them up and divide by 3. And that's going to give you an average of what your income is for an average month. And then you're going to do that with each additional category. And then we're going to look to make sure our income is larger than our outgo. So everything with the exception of income, we're going to add those up and make sure that number is smaller than our income number. And if you've been without an income for the last 3 months, then you're probably going to have to guesstimate on how much you're going to bring in each month. You might want to look back prior to that, or maybe you just got a new job and you know how much you're going to be making, and you can estimate. And congratulations, you just made your first spending plan. And that wasn't that painful, was it? So now you're going to look at each category individually. So we're going to see what stands out and what's absolutely ridiculous, because trust me, everyone has a ridiculous category. Even me, who has been budgeting for over a decade, I have a couple of ridiculous categories. For me, my ridiculous are Amazon and groceries. And actually, for a lot of people, it's groceries and eating out. Until you get caught back up, you're going to have to cut out all the fluff. Because remember, you're behind on your bills and you need to get caught back up as quickly as possible. And maybe it won't take you nearly as long to get caught back up if you cut absolutely down to the absolute essentials. So anything that's not an absolute need is going to have to go for a short time. And don't worry, as soon as this is all over and you're all caught back up, you can add everything back in. This part is only for a very, very, very short time. So here are some ways you can cut back. First, you could cancel your Amazon Prime membership. Wait, what? Yeah, I actually said that. But if you are an Amazon spender like I am, canceling that membership will save you a lot of money every month. And again, you don't have to do it long term. It's just until you get caught up. So for most people, the next one, groceries, is probably going to be a number one place where they overspend. So there are some ways you can cut back on those. You can eat your pantry. So whatever you have in your pantry is what you're going to eat. And you're going to buy as little as physically possible at the grocery store for the next month or two. You could lower your overall grocery expenses. I know my friend Kelly over at Freedom in a Budget, she actually is creating a course that is live now, and I'll link that down in the description box. But Kelly used to spend $100 a month on groceries, which is shocking to me considering how much we spend on groceries. We spend quite a bit. It is not that difficult to lower your grocery bill if you really do some of the steps that she recommends. You could change auto insurance companies. You could pause your tithing if you're open to it. You could shift your habits to save on utilities and gas. Maybe stop driving in traffic. Maybe you unplug things from the wall when you're not using them. You could stop ordering from Grubhub and Uber Eats. You could lower your cell phone plan. You could get rid of your cable or cancel your gym membership or cut out all your subscription services. So now we've looked at our budget and we've looked at all the different ways that we can cut back, and we've identified some trigger areas for ourselves, I'm sure. So now we're going to call and negotiate how to make lower payments. And this step is embarrassing, and I promise you it's going to be difficult, but if you do it correctly, it can help you get back in the black so much more quickly than if you don't. A lot of creditors are going to work with you. A lot of creditors, especially if you have really, really good histories with them, they're going to help you out. Maybe they will be able to waive some additional fees because you're setting up some sort of payment plan with them. Maybe if you've never been late, they'll waive all the fees. And number 5, we're going to prioritize our past due to pay them off as quickly as possible. And once you know what you have to work with, and once you've negotiated down as low as you can, you're going to go back to number 1 and decide what order you're going to pay everything off in. You want to prioritize the bills that fall under your basic needs. And the basic needs are simple. They're food, water, shelter, and transportation. Now, frequently, childcare will also fall under a basic need, because if you can't go to work because you have a kid unattended at home, then you need to include basic childcare as a need. Food, nice, healthy, nourishing food, not takeout, not McDonald's. You don't need to be doing that. You can eat more cheaply than that. So water actually means utilities. And that means like electricity and gas and, like your heat or AC is working if you live in an area where that's important. In some circumstances, it'll include your cell phone, depending on your job, and potentially Wi-Fi. It depends how drastic of a situation you are in, whether internet and cell phones should be kept in or taken out. Shelter is going to be your rent or your mortgage payment, homeowners insurance, or property taxes if those are applicable. Maintenance. Your transportation is going to be like a car loan or gasoline or auto insurance or just general maintenance. Childcare is going to be basic childcare and does not include ice skating lessons or violin lessons or anything like that. It's just basic childcare. Now, the only other thing to consider would be the IRS. Most of the time, IRS will, if you live in the United States, the IRS, being the people who take your tax money, are going to take precedent over everything else because they have the legal authority to garnish your wages. But you can set up payment plans with them. And this also goes to apply if you owe money for a child or something of that nature. In order to prevent someone garnishing your wages, you need to pay those back. And actually, if you owe money for child support, it's almost advisable to go ahead and take out a big bank loan if you can get it, pay off anything you owe in child support, and then pay the bank loan back. And the reason is because having your wages garnished can significantly impact your control over your finances. So these are the categories that you are going to pay first. Anything that falls under any one of these categories is where you're going to start. And I am only talking about the past due bills in these categories as well. Obviously, you're going to need to keep paying them going forward, but you're going to focus on the past due ones. And then after that, you're going to focus on any other past due. Once you've got all the past due in your needs categories, then you're going to move on to the next set of past due. Once you have covered your needs categories, I do recommend you ordering your other past due bills, smallest to largest, and just knocking them out as quickly as you can. Because if you put them in smallest to largest order, you can actually knock out maybe 4 in 1 month and 5 in the next month, and then focus on your biggest ones in your 3rd month. So if you're ready to get started, but you need to make some extra cash so you can get that ball rolling, I'm going to put up this video over here of over 100 ways that you can earn extra cash. And most of them you can get started on today. So I'll see you in the next one.